the things that as leaders we need to think about and talk about is an issue called executive presence. I think we tend to spend a lot of time talking about a lot of competencies that leaders have, but we actually don't talk about executive presence as a key competence and a strength that a leader must have. Generally, when you're growing up in your career, I think we start from having technical competence, which is you learn the knowledge and expertise of your trade, and you get to know what your job is. So if you're in banking, you know banking. If you're an accountant, you learn accounts. And when you come out of university, basically you have a raw input of a technical knowledge. And unfortunately, with the British system that we inherited, you are just fit for an employee, to be an employee, and not even an employer, let alone an entrepreneur. And then once you finish that journey, you start to learn how to interface with people, which is what we call interpersonal leadership or interpersonal skills. You get to know how you engage with other people, and you become some kind of a team leader or a manager or something like that, and you get some title. And of course, you know, most of you, that's the time when you resign from your job because you've got some little title. As long as there's a word manager at the end of the title, you will change your job. And then of course, as you go along, you start accumulating money and you get a bit of things. But what is important is that once you get into senior leadership roles, none of that actually becomes really important. The assumption when they hire you is that you are technically competent and you know how to engage with people. But what is more important is how do you manage yourself? So the key role of when you become a leader is actually the biggest person you manage as a senior leader is you. Think about it, when we all voted for at the last elections, how many of us cared what the candidates' qualifications in school were, besides the grade 12? The reality is that how many of you know what Trump studied? But we have a huge opinion about him, don't we? But do we all know he went to what on business school? Actually, he's very well educated, but a lot of you probably don't think so, but he is. And the point is that once you become leaders, people start to look at us as who you are and not necessarily about what you are. And they are more interested in your personality and character than they are about your skills and competencies, because that's what they start to measure and to follow. There are three things you need to remember in this executive presence. The first thing you have to think about is a thing called style. You know, how do you dress? How do you look? I mean, we were talking about one prominent person who came to visit us the other day in our board meeting today, and he was wearing a trousers. But you know, the back of the trousers, you know, all those long trousers that sweep the floor, and the back is kind of eaten by the heel. And this is a senior person who is supposed to make a mark. I mean, men were very guilty of this. You wear a shirt and the collar is half torn, you kind of see a threading coming out. It just takes off your presence because people look at you and say, are you for real? I mean, just imagine a banker with a thread VIP, and I'm supposed to give you $1 million cash. I mean, can I trust you? So the starting point is how you look, how you present yourself is important. And if you're a short person, you have to make it up. Because tall people have an advantage in the sense that they crowd the room, they walk in, you can see them. So, I mean, they call it in psychology compensatory behavior. My apologies. So, how we look, how we present ourselves is fundamentally important because that is the first thing in executive presence, style. What is your style? How do you project yourself? How do you show yourself? In today's kids will call it, how do you show up? Do you show up well or badly? And do you dress up well or badly? And what are things that you need to do? Are you groomed sufficiently? Can you be trusted? So that is the first thing in terms of executive presence. The second thing that goes with that is what we call substance. I'm sure we use this word, a man and a woman of substance. Do you know your substance? Because people look at you first, and then they'll say, gee, okay, I can listen to this person. Then they're waiting to hear your voice. Now, what is your substance? Do you have knowledge? Do you have passion? Do you have conviction? Are you sure about what you're saying? Are you competent in things that you say? And it's an important piece because it helps you deal with the issues about people can trust your leadership because they know you know what you're doing. But also, are you decisive? In terms of difficulties, are you resilient? How do you deal with conflict? How do you deal with decisions? How do you manage a difficult environment. And the favorite word for today is a thing they call VUCA, which is our environment is volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. And that's the key competence you need to have in substance. Are you able to deal with volatility? Are you able to deal with uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity? So if your boss comes, today bosses don't come and say, I want you to get this done and do it this way. They just tell you, my boss just basically told me, this is the budget, we see you in December. Now, the how, why, when, where, how, that's my job. Now, whether the bank rate goes up or goes down, Bank of Zambia makes a decision which is negative, IMF comes or doesn't come, they still want their numbers. My job is to manage those things, that's what they pay me to do. So you have to deal with VUCA, and you have to have substance and resilience to be able to deal with that. So that is the second thing that is important. The third thing that you have to deal with in executive presence for people to follow you is character. Who are you? How do you behave? What are the things that you do as a character? People talk about this famous word that says, talent gets you to the top, but character keeps you at the top. How do you behave? Because people then look out for every little thing that you do, people will copy it. And they know what time you get to the office, what time you leave, what you do, where you park. I always play a game in the office because I park my car in different slots, and people are kind of looking, is he here? But it's about how you behave. And there's one word which is important in that behavior, authenticity. Can people actually believe you when you do things? Are you authentic in what you do? And how do you show up and your values? So, because authenticity is important, and these days it's becoming an important, increasingly important thing, and there's a lot of debate in leadership circles around authenticity. Because people tend to take it that I must be transparent, everybody must know who I am. But you also need to be very careful what is transparency, because there's a level and extent to which you are transparent, and who are you being transparent to, and under what circumstances. Because as a leader, if you're too transparent, people might actually think it's a weakness. Because if you tell them, gee, I'm afraid of spiders, I'm afraid of this, the millennials, they'll put a spider right next to you. So you have to be understanding what is the level of disclosure you give. Because, sometimes leaders were like parents. You don't tell your children that today, there's no food in the house. You tell them that we're fasting tonight. That you have an all-night prayer. So you do an all-night prayer. When you know there's no food in the house, and then you pray, during the prayer, you pray to God that tomorrow morning will be breakfast. So you have to be able to protect the team and shield them, because there are things that you have to shield the team from. And that's part of the character of a leader. When you say being authentic, to understand how much you can shield the team from and what you need to do, because that's your job. Because you have to be the buffer that protects them from the difficult things that come, and say, how do we deal with this and what do we need to do? But in your character as well, what is also important is you have to understand that the world we live in is changing. So you have to start understanding the different cultures that you deal with. So your character has to adapt to the environment that you are in and understand the different changes that's happening there. And change is also happening fast. We are becoming more global. So you have to be able to bring in all these cultures into space and deal with them and understand how it is that is important. So basically when you say you are present as a leader, we've said number one, you have to have style. Number two, you must have substance. Number three, you must have character. The last thing is you must have community. What difference have you made to community? If you're going to be a leader who makes no difference in anybody's life, and you start asking yourself, what is my purpose for existence? Why did God put me on this earth? What difference am I making to community? And how am I making a difference somewhere else? At least if you can't help a street beggar, help your uncle's child, minimum. Will you make a difference to community somewhere? Help someone and make a difference to someone. In Africa, I'm sad to say, we still look up to Europe for NGOs to bring money here. But there are a lot of if I look at the net worth in this place here, it's a couple of hundred, probably 15% of the GDP of Zambia sitting here. But how much are we actually helping the communities we have? And what difference are we making? I mean, look at Bill Gates. He retired very early. What is he doing? Running the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Because people are talking about giving out that money, all the wealth they have. And that's what it's about. How much are we doing for community? Because that is one of the marks of your presence. The legacy you will leave. When you die, they will not write, here lies Charles Mudiwa, the chief executive of Stanbic Zambia. They will write about, here lies Charles Mudiwa. Did I make any, went to my funeral, they don't talk about the bank. No, they will talk about, he was a caring guy, or a nasty guy, or whatever it is. But they will talk about the things that you made in this world that made community. And that is the everlasting presence that you create. Mitch Albom, in a book called Little Faith, wrote a thing they called the second death. Some of you will die once. You know what that means? You die, we bury you. After that, no one talks about you. Those are people who die once. Now, you never have a second death, because the first one is the final one. Now, there are people who have 2 or more than 1 death, where you die today, they have a memorial, they live in yours, but your works and acts live after you, and they remember you. So if you think about it, we're still studying William Shakespeare. The guy has never died. His second death is yet to happen. Now, the question I leave with you in conclusion, as a leader, when will your second death happen? And what difference will you make community? I rest my case.